Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how the biggest triggers you have as an anxious, preoccupied individual may show up for you in the workplace specifically, and what you can do about this. And if you want to do a much deeper dive into this topic in general, like really reprogramming your attachment style and how it may affect you in the workplace specifically, you can check out for free for 7 days, which is more than enough time to do a deep dive into this course. Our attachment styles in the workplace course, where it goes through literally all the different dynamics in regards to pain points, strengths, weaknesses, how you manage your time, reprogramming needed, core wounds, like a million different things. But that's really like holding your hand to take you through each major component. And it's about 2.5 hours of course content and workbook materials, but that will really help you actually change the way that your attachment style may be coming into the workplace. So let me know in the comments below as I dive into this today, if you resonate with this, if you see some of these triggers that you have in the workplace with other individuals. And we spend so much of our waking life at work, we spend 40 hours of our waking life at work. So we're going to talk about in here, how to actually feel good during those 40 hours if we find ourselves feeling stuck or overwhelmed. So first and foremost, the biggest thing that tends to trigger anxious preoccupieds in the workplace is exclusion. When an AP feels excluded, it's extremely triggering, and it often really makes them feel, again, kind of an outsider, frustrated. And often in the workplace, when they feel this way, they'll be plagued with so much hurt and frustration and kind of sadness, and a little bit of panicked feelings, like that fear of abandonment sort of feeling, that it can actually stop them from really feeling focused. And they may spend a lot of time trying to focus on what's going on in the workplace without them and how they can get involved and be included, and spend so much time on that social aspect, sometimes at the detriment of their own relationship to whatever work they're supposed to be doing. So that's a huge one. Another huge one is if they feel like they may get abandoned or their job is unsafe. So again, this is relating to those big core wounds to a certain degree. But this can be something that if an AP doesn't feel like they have a foundational sense of stability and safety in their job, they will often ruminate, they will fear, they will sometimes go into almost a freeze mode outside of work, where they feel rather than applying for jobs or seeing how they can solve for the problem or have a conversation with their boss, or ask their boss how they can improve and do these things that can really help to transform feelings of lack of stability or safety in your workplace. Because if your job's not safe, instead of taking initiative to try to improve and close the gap where improvement needs to be made, sometimes APs will kind of freeze or panic or vent to friends when they come home, or vent to other colleagues, but not really put their effort and energy into how they can solve the problem at work, which again is something that can be detrimental, right? It's really important to try to solve for the problem, and that will usually help you get more and more safety in your job. I know it's not the same for everybody's industry, but that can be something to really pay attention to, and all the different ways you can find that safety in different forms and in what's in front of you and in your control in the workplace specifically. Number 3, dismissiveness, or when people are short. This often triggers APs because they will feel oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or, maybe I did something wrong. And sometimes they'll find fault in themselves or their own actions and worry that they made a mistake or they did something that was their fault. And they can really, again, start ruminating about these things to a strong degree. If you find yourself in this position, communication is always key. And in that course specifically that you can check out for free in the link below, we talk about how to communicate through a lot of these problems specifically. If you're feeling like you were dismissed, or you're concerned that you did something wrong, how to actually approach and address these things. Our next biggest trigger is number 4, when they feel like somebody is rude, cold, or they are being ignored. Again, similar to dismissiveness, but sort of a cousin of dismissiveness. Somebody is being rude or cold or actively ignoring versus just being short and dismissive. Slightly different. And again, will really tend to get under an anxious, preoccupied individual's skin. Another huge one is when they feel invalidated. If an AP feels not good enough, if somebody invalidates them or criticizes them in a harsh way, especially in their relationships to how they treated other people, they can really feel a lot of guilt or less shame, more guilt, but a lot of worry or panic. And again, this sort of plaguing fear of not being good enough. Also, if an AP, like keep in mind, it's not just the direct things that somebody does that trigger you. It can be an absence of something that triggers you as well. And for APs, if there's an absence of like encouragement or connection in the workplace, they can also feel really disempowered, sort of like flat. Like APs tend to really need that approval from their workplace boss, relationships, coworkers, everybody. And that tends to motivate them and make them want to show up more and more. And then last but not least, our last two things actually are if they feel judged. This can be really triggering and hurtful to an AP. And again, they can get like very caught in ruminating about like, do they like me? Am I liked? Am I disliked? What can I do to be more liked? And again, it can like really move their focus away from the work they have to be doing and into things related to work that are not actually their work. And then the last thing here is if an AP has a difficult relationship to a boss or a superior and feel like they can't have an open conversation. APs more than any other attachment style tend to really need a close relationship or really healthy relationship to their boss, their supervisor, their manager, their superior, because they project their relationship subconsciously from mom and dad or primary attachment figure in childhood. They project that onto other authority figures in their adult lives. And so whatever feels unresolved with mom and dad will often get brought into other relationships with authority, which is why you'll often find APs go into the role of like people pleasing with authority figures, because it's their subconscious strategy to get love when the subconscious mind makes those associations from parental relationships all the way to authority figures in adult life. So it's really important to reprogram those wounds as well, to learn to establish boundaries, to feel comfortable speaking up, to really tune into like how you're managing your time, and to move through potential burnout that APs can really experience. We have a burnout course you can check out for free as well for 7 days, but a lot of burnout that can be experienced by APs because of the fact that they often can struggle with their boundaries and expressing their needs because they're so busy in that people-pleasing mode. So really important things to be aware of. I hope this all makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. And also we are reopening our waitlist to round 2, class number 2 for October. We had so many requests for this. So we have class number 2 for October, where there are a limited amount of seats to do training with me to become a certified coach. And what I teach, everything about the subconscious mind, integrated attachment theory, which talks a lot about our core wounds, our boundaries, needs, and sort of overlaps these things with attachment styles. So you can get certified in that. And I also teach you how to build a business, build funnels, organize your life, set up your time, and also make a career transition if needed. So you'll learn a lot of that stuff in that. It's a full 8 weeks of training with me live. So the waitlist for that will be below as well. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and for being here. And I will see you in the next video.